Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Friday, July 29th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Great television archives, top of the page, punch around, you'll have a great time looking at some of the great old stuff we put up there. And of course we have our eye candy feature right below that. Below that, we have Sexually Speaking, Dr. Kathy Nutt, the Center for Sexual Health. We scour the universe for stories about sex and couples and hooking up and stuff like that. And then we have our rock and roll poll question in the corner. Results yesterday. What about the Cardinals trade of Colby Rasmus and the other three players? A combined 72% of you like it or love it. A combined 28% of you didn't like it for whatever reason. 53% said it's good. All right, rock and roll poll question. All right, you're going to feel old now. Sorry about this. MTV turns 30 years old on Monday. Which of these statements best sums up your feelings about MTV? A, it'll always be remembered as a tremendous force in music and pop culture. B, it put entirely too much emphasis on video at the expense of music of that era. C, the whole thing seems sort of silly looking back now. Or D, it seems dumb that they stopped playing music videos. We'll have results for you Monday morning here at jcontheline.com on the Daily Dose. And of course, every day on the Big 550 KTRS, where Trish Gazelle and I reside from noon until 3. We have Al Roboski on Mondays, Eric Mink on Tuesdays, Wednesday our legal eagle Scott Sherman, Thursday professional comedian Joe Marlotti, and Friday Smash joins us. Smash will not be on with us today. We're sad to report that Smash lost his mama 2 days ago, kidney failure. She had a long, vibrant, healthy life, but turned ill here recently and had kidney failure, and so Smash is off to Indiana to be with his mom. So we wish him and his family all of our best. All right, Colby Rasmus, 0 for 5 yesterday in his debut with the Toronto Blue Jays. $500,000 is what's on the table for Casey Anthony if she wants to quit the grinning and drop the linen and pose for Larry Flynt in Hustler magazine. I wouldn't hold out too much hope on that. And last night on Channel 5, the 10 o'clock show, the air conditioning went out in the middle of the show, and I have to say the guys handled it pretty well. They just started taking their jackets off and stuff like that. It can get hot in the studio. Although I will say this, since the advent of HD TV in high definition, you need a fraction of the light that you used to need for television. If you used to go into a television studio up until about 4 years ago, you go in there and it was ice cold in there all the time because when they turned the TV lights on, it would get very hot. So they had to keep the studio cold all the time. With the advent of high definition, you need about, I think it was like you need less than, it was like 70% less light because the cameras are so sensitive and you don't have those hot TV lights in there. So it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. All right, somebody won an iPod Touch for correctly predicting the date of Amy Winehouse's death. Somebody was running a website there, and 4 people actually got the date right, which is astonishing. It comes right down to it. The woman who submitted the correct date first won the iPod Touch. 96,000 people left predictions. MTV, as we said, is turning 30 on Monday. Time magazine has put out a list of the top 30 all-time best music videos. Once in a Lifetime, Talking Heads from 1980 is on there. Thriller, Michael Jackson is on there. Sledgehammer, pretty good one. Sledgehammer, pretty good one there from 1996. Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor from 1990. But it's not even a contest as far as I'm concerned. I'll get that later. Not even a contest as far as I'm concerned. Best music video of all time, Runaway, not even close. Take on Me by A-ha. And you may disagree with that, but you're wrong. By the way, Debbie Gibson and Tiffany, who teamed up for a movie, when was that? Like a couple of years ago, are going on tour together. So the 80s are coming alive again here. In 1800, the world's population hit 1 billion people. It took the entire history of mankind to get there, and now we have equaled that in 1 decade. The population will hit 7 billion people this year. That's up from 6 billion in 2001. Based on current rates and trends, the UN, the United Nations, predicts that the 7 billionth person will be born October 31st in India. We continue on with this AskMen.com survey of 70,000 guys. I mean, this is a major sample. This is a huge study, a huge survey that they did. And it's coming through in waves. We had 2 waves already, a 3rd wave right now. And it has to do with more with the way men think about the world instead of just dating and sex and stuff like that. Is America still a superpower? 5% say no, 71% say it is, but it's on the decline. Men are most likely to believe that aliens exist. 47% of men say that they believe in that. If you could only have one child, which gender would you prefer? 53% say boys. You're missing the boat. Girls are great. And is sexting considered cheating? 74% of the men, 3 out of 4 say sexting is cheating. Do I trust you with that answer? And men would like to be Superman. 32% of the guys said, yeah, if I could have like a superhero type powers, I'll take that. Batman came in 2nd place, even though Batman doesn't really have any superpowers. The 8 most interesting results from Cosmopolitan magazine's Great Female Survey is coming out, and we will have that for you Monday here on Sexually Speaking with Dr. Kathy Naughton, which is right below the eye candy feature here. So we'll hear about Facebook and sex and paying for dates and dumping guys and fantasizing and all that. So that'll be Monday right here. Make sure you come back and check in with us. Olivia Newton-John has a 25-year-old daughter, and this kid is off the deep end. Her name is Chloe, and she has made a disturbing music video, and the entire country, the entire continent of Australia is like completely freaking out over it. It's called Play With Me, sort of a Marilyn Manson type thing. And in the video, Chloe, would that be Chloe Newton-John? I guess so. Chloe Newton-John. In the video, she commits suicide twice in front of a dude who barely acknowledged her. She electrocutes herself in a bathtub, slits her wrists in bed, and later she points a gun to her head and does a bunch of coke. What's going on in that family? A blogger with way too much time on his hands has put together a fascinating, comprehensive study of how often the characters on Friends had sex. He researched all 236 episodes spanning 10 seasons. He found that the 6 main characters had sex with 85 different people. Joey came out on top for the guys. Phoebe, Lisa Kudrow, had 16 partners. She came in second behind him. If you're looking forward to movies, we're in that sort of lull now because a lot of the big summer movies are done with, and now you get August, September, and not much happens. But now you start getting October, November, and you start getting a little better movies, or at least some of the comedies and stuff like that. There's 2 you might be interested in hearing about. Ben Stiller and Eddie Murphy. The movie is called Tower Heist. It's sort of a continuation of Eddie Murphy's character from 48 Hours, which could be interesting. Matthew Broderick is also in the movie, along with Ben Stiller. Alan Alda, Téa Leoni, Casey Affleck, Gabby Sidibe. November 4th is the date for that one. And Ides of March is a political drama with George Clooney as a presidential candidate, Ryan Gosling as his chief aide. Clooney directed it. Marissa Tomei is in it. Philip Seymour Hoffman, Paul Giamatti, and Evan Rachel Wood. That's October 7th. And that one sounds like Oscar bait to me. All right, a reminder, the Roast of McGraw-Millhaven is going to happen next Thursday night at the Ballpark Hilton downtown. If you want in on that, and there's going to be a lot of people there. Joe Marlotti is going to MC the whole thing. I'll be up there on the dais roasting McGraw along with Guy Phillips, Randy Carricker, John Carney, and the Sklar brothers from St. Louis and from ESPN. If you want in on this, all the proceeds go to SIDS. So it's a good cause, and you can call 822-2323. That's 822-2323. We'll see you next Thursday night at the Ballpark Hilton. All right, Cubs are in town this weekend, and in 3 weeks we will be in Chicago. And if you're making the annual pilgrimage up to Chicago for the big Cubs-Cardinals weekend, and you're looking for something a little bit different or a little bit extra to do, on Eye Candy today, I have a list of the movie location sites for a bunch of John Hughes movies like Home Alone, Uncle Buck, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and 16 Candles. The actual houses or apartments or schools and stuff like that, police stations that were used in those movies, we have them plotted out for you on a map with the addresses so you can Google them, and you get a car up in Chicago, you can drive around and see the house where they shot Home Alone and stuff like that. That's on Eye Candy, and it's right below what you're looking at right there. And Arnold Schwarzenegger turned 64 on Saturday. He's not planning anything big, just a quiet dinner with his families. And a coyote in Washington State spent the week running around with a mayonnaise jar stuck on his head. I think I once saw the same thing happen to Jessica Simpson. All right, that's it. The Daily Dose for Friday, July 29th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.